Okay, we are back to rolling, and we're continuing our coverage here at FPA National here in Columbus, Ohio. And as I told you, the talent just keeps on coming. And with us right now, we have Dr. Preston Cherry, who is the founder, CEO of Concurrent, and also a member of the CNBC Advisory Council.
Yes.
Preston, great to see you. We talk all the time.
For sure, Chuck. Yes.
Thanks for joining us here. So we can choose from so many things to talk about. One of these days, I want to recap what we talked about off camera, about the importance of generational wealth and building on that. But save that for another time. But let's talk about AI, right? We're hearing about AI all the time. How are our advisors really using it, number one? Number two, how? What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm using it in my practice, and it helps expedite the operations. It helps expedite connecting with your clients and your prospects. In a way, here's an example. I send out a newsletter every Saturday, and it's a summation of some of the social media posts that we have, maybe some of the updates that we have, and not everybody's be able to click all the time on your socials.
Sure.
Right? So people are waking up on Saturdays like, okay, what do you want to do? Well, they have coffee and want to read the newsletter, right? Well, those can be time consuming. And if you're writing by your own hand, then it'd be 2-3 hours just for a 800 to 1200 word thing, right? So AI helps me put my ideas into the AI system and generate multiple newsletters like that, and then that saves me or releases me to do more organic posts, because those are the ones that really the clients are wanting to engage with. So within the newsletter, I have the AI generated with my own ideas. I don't fake the funk, right? Right. I don't fake the funk. I put my own ideas in there, but I just prompt it in order to shape it. All right. But then that allows me to. I wrote about coffee last week and how that my coffee grinder. I got beans in my coffee grinder, and what the gist of it was I procrastinated to not fix my coffee grinder, right? So it that type of story, blah, 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 I could keep going. But the point about it is that coffee grinder story and procrastination on your finances, people are like, oh, okay, I like coffee, blah, 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 blah. But it wasn't just, hey, the market dipped, to 10% or something to this effect. I use AI to do that part.
Yeah.
And it frees me up to do the coffee stuff.
I think that is probably the best use case so far for AI is freeing you up on not the mundane, but the stuff that could be done by someone else to let you focus on what you're really best at. What we've been doing actually at our shop, and I don't mind using actual recommendations. So we use Beautiful AI. Did you ever hear of them?
Yeah, I have heard of them, yes.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So I've been doing a lot more work with the New York Public Library.
Okay.
So I'm doing more presentations. So editing a presentation doesn't take much time. Starting from zero takes the time. So I put in one, give me a presentation on planning for long-term care, whatever. And it does the whole presentation in a pretty C+ way. But I can go from C+ to A much more easily than I can go from nothing to A.
Absolutely.
Don't you think?
I believe that wholeheartedly. And particularly those presentations, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the ones that we were just talking about, how you built your business on presentations and how I want to continue to build Concurrent up with that. And I'm going to be doing starting from scratch. I just gave an academic presentation when I'm here at FPA, right? And I needed to make my slides in a jiffy. And I used AI in order to reshape some of the slides that I already had. And like you said, it started me off from C. I didn't have to start from scratch.
Right.
And when I put my information in there, it gave me a boilerplate. I was like, okay, now I can work with this. And it saved me a credible amount of time. And you transfer that, just like you said, to other parts of your business in order to do that. And those meetings that you have, those workshops and everything, hey, those are generators.
Absolutely. You know what AI is really bad at? Writing jokes.
They actually did a study or like a test on that.
Yeah.
And I think some comedians actually said it's not going to beat us, but it's actually pretty good, because they did a blind test. And they said, okay, here's the joke. They took some comedians and said, write a lot of jokes, give them to people and rate them. And then AI write some jokes and rate them. Okay. And actually, as the jokes were, and the comedians were impressed. They were like, wow, these people think that this is really funny. And so the gap wasn't all the way there.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't as big. It was interesting.
I'm surprised to hear that, because I actually moderated a panel on AI.
Yeah.
And so I told AI, write me the introduction to this panel.
Yes.
And I used it verbatim to make a point. Look how good this is.
Right.
And then I said, where AI is missing? because I then said, AI, I'm going to do this presentation. You always like to start a presentation with a couple of jokes. And those jokes were just horrible. Maybe it's gotten better. This was about a year ago.
Yeah, maybe so. And I will say that I think, who is this? I think it's the president of the AFS while we're here. And his name is Sean. And Sean, forgive me for forgetting your last name. We know each other. But shout out. But he did a recent paper just seeing what AI was good at as far as financial plan. And this is his research, not mine, but he said, can ChatGPT or others do financial planning? What are they good at, right? And it was interesting. He got some little interesting feedback, but one of the things that they're not good at and I pretty much all I know this, right, is delivering the personal side of the plan.
Of course.
And even crunching some of the numbers. Some of the numbers are off because ChatGPT doesn't do, or generative AI doesn't do a good job with in-depth research, analyzing complex information. Obviously it does, but not specific. If you're talking like maybe, probability of success, or putting some guardrails on it and all that, well, it really doesn't shape that well. It does pretty good math. It does pretty good math, but not particular to when you're talking about a particular person or situation. It's hard to get that output out there. So my point about that is that AI is not going to solve everything. And what it can do is complement what you're doing and bring it to greater heights. And if you're not using it, then you're wasting time, and that time is wasted on not building the practice.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to wrap it up for today, but I do think that's where AI is going to fit in most industries, definitely ours, right? So get rid of that busy work and let us focus on what we love to do, which is interacting with our clients, and behavioral finance too. We can talk about that some other time. But behavioral finance, I think, just needs a human to deliver that. You need the anecdotes, you need to be able to relate to folks, and I think we have job security.
I think so.
But I think our jobs are going to become easier with AI.
Most definitely.
All right, Preston, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you, Chad.
Okay, so we have a little bit more to go today, and stay tuned. I'll be back in another hour with our next segment. I've been talking all day.
I got
Segment is what he's trying to say. Thanks for joining us. Okay.